up off trail above Fairfax, having a great time just wading through sort of small dwarfed plants of chamise and crawling under manzanitas. Still on an endless search for Ceanothus velutinus in Marin, which has not been seen since the early 2000s on Crown Road, where the plants have since died in the Kentfield woodlands. But here, noticing the effects in this chaparral of the 23 plus inches of rain we've already had, when we're expected to have 5 to 10 more this coming week. This is Ceanothus cuneatus, one of my favorite plants in the world. For sure favorite genus, Ceanothus, in the Rhamnaceae, the buckthorn family. Ceanothus is the genus in California with the richest diversity, doing a lot of the same thing that manzanitas have done in terms of speciating out in response to edaphic and fire selecting pressures, or the selective pressures of fire and where they grow and stuff. But here with it, the flowers are pretty budded up. They're ready to go. I mean, they go off in early February. But here we go. But, yeah, it's Ceanothus cuneatus. It gets pretty complex. There's sort of a lot of variations of cuneatus. It's a very plastic, if you will, taxon. And I think it hybridizes readily with other Ceanothi nearby. Not readily, but the rare Bellina Ceanothus, Ceanothus masonii, really might be a hybrid between this and Jepson Ceanothus, Ceanothus jepsonii. But for December 10th, this is pretty budded up right here. I mean, like, these flower buds are almost showing color. When they bloom, they have these little clusters of 5 Maris flowers with a nectar disc at the center. I believe 5 stamens, but they're small flowers, but in a mass on the plant, and tiny little pom-pom-like clusters provide the most incredible fragrance and nectar for insects and whoever to go at it. With its leathery, thick leathery leaves in the Cerastes tribe of Ceanothi, with the herringbone pattern on the back. Come on, let's focus here. There we go. That sort of herringbone venation pattern, as opposed to the 3 main veins in the Euceanothi. Your blue blossom, Ceanothus thursiflorus, etc. But these are cuneatus with the wedge-shaped base, small petiole, opposite leaves in the Cerastes. But God, those are almost showing a little bit of blue tinge in the flower buds. Unbelievable. Wading through this stuff. The drought-tolerant king in California, one of them, chamise, with the fasciculated. Fasciculated means clustered little leaves to reduce moisture loss, because it's just a king. What are there, like, just a whole bunch fascicled on each one. And then, are they oppositely arranged along the stem? It appears so. In the rose family, has tiny rose family-like flowers, sort of classic, with white flowers with the tons of stamens. Smells great. It sort of turns swaths of hillsides white to cream to rust as they fade. In they bloom in June, so this is like a June show. And then we're coming up here. Another effect of the early winter, of the huge rains, in a drought year, that's like as much rain as you might get. You get about 50 around here. You got Arctostaphylos glandulosa going off. So let's focus in real quick. Boom, Arctostaphylos. You've got scabrous, sort of sandpapery almost, like leaves, thick, brittle, coriaceous, but they also have a little fine coating on them of hair. The inflorescence bracts are leafy and spreading. Those little leafy things right there above each flower, but they're subtending them, meaning below actually. These are hanging flowers are about to open. They haven't opened yet. Let's check it out. Does this guy have a nice burl? How's your burl? Yeah, he does. Down here. Or she does. Come on, we can't focus. I have a hard time focusing. There's that. Ooh, yeah. That above ground extension of the root system, the root crown, where when the last fire came through here, this is where those two or three trunks came from. When I say trunks, these are shrubs. Arctostaphylos glandulosa. Manzanitas range from prostrate shrubs that crawl along the ground up to arborescent trees that are, you know, 15 to 20 feet high, with Arctostaphylos glauca and Arctostaphylos manzanita. But you've got some lovely stuff going. This is Arctostaphylos. I haven't even mentioned it. Glandulosa. Look at the glands on the stem. So many glands. Just glanding out. I had a friend named Landon. Just glanding out. Just probably catching minute little bugs almost. I mean, hey, could this be insectivorous? Like the way Triantha occidentalis was just discovered to be? So those aren't hairs, those are glands, sticky. And the plant's not super sticky, but they're sticky enough. Glands all over it. But this guy's getting going. This is actually more of a February bloomer, but manzanitas do their thing. Once they get enough moisture, they come out. I mean, there's ones around the Bay Area that are classic early bloomers, like Arctostaphylos canescens or Arctostaphylos pallida in the East Bay. Arctostaphylos sensitiva is also another early bloomer. You could find that on Corte Madera Ridge and Bolinas Ridge in Marin. So, you can end it by looking at this oak, which Quercus wislenzenii, interior live oak. In Marin, they're sort of more shrubby. Our classic, we're in the outer coast ranges, so our classic iconic oak is the Quercus agrifolia, the coast live oak, with every leaf being revolute, where the margins curl under and teeth on every margin, with wistless and a covering on the bottom, sort of a farina or a little hairy covering on the bottom of Quercus agrifolia, which give the leaves a paler underside. With wislenzenii, interior live oak, which replaces it fully once you get past the inner coast ranges and into the Sierra foothills, has isofacial surfaces, same color essentially of green on both, and the leaves can be flat, they can be toothed. Let's find a toothed one. I mean, here's one that made teeth. Did it make it? Come on, did the focus? Yeah, there's one that made teeth. There's one that didn't, you know? And they can be sort of flat. They can sort of plane out flat with just a slight curl to them. Not really much curl to the margins. But every leaf on Quercus agrifolia are curl and have the teeth. Okay, so I think that's just a good little exploration. Hopefully we got your... what also looks really great right now, which could look terrible at this time of year if you haven't had any rain like we haven't had in recent falls. We have. I've been tracking it, but more often than not, we haven't been getting the fall rains. So your classic herbaceous perennial of the oak woodlands, orange bush monkeyflower, Diplacus aurantiacus, meaning orange bush monkeyflower, looks terrible this time of year until it really gets enough rain. And this one's nicely leafed out already. And that will not go until June as well. It hangs out with Adenostoma fasciculatum, the chamise. We looked at Ceanothus cuneatus right there. Buckbrush, just a glorious plant. We're just in the cuts right now. And this Arctostaphylos glandulosa, which is getting ready to pump out flowers mid-December. All right, so we're gonna say peace. We're gonna say go Niners and talk to you later. Still looking for the Ceanothus velutinus in these woods here above Fairfax, where the last observation in 1999 nearish here said in madrone, interior live oak, and gymbrush woodland, or gymbrush. So this is the gymbrush, Ceanothus oleganthus sordiitis, and we were just talking about the different tribes of Ceanothi. You have your cerastes and Euceanothus. There you can see the three main veins going up the back of this leaf. Can you see that? Not really, because I'm not showing it that well. There we go. Let's just go like this, and then you can see it better. There we go. Three main veins. Tomentose underside, definitely helping out with Gimbrush. Gimbrush likes to come up in disturbed areas, and it's budded up. It's a very handsome plant with lighter blue flowers on more of an elongated raceme or a compound panic. I forget what that is, a panicle or a raceme in terms of what kind of inflorescence it is with Ceanothus. Thursiflorus is a thyrse, obviously, that's what that's called. All right, so looking in this woodland, bay trees encroachment, even some Doug fir too. So since there's been no fire in this sort of scrub and chaparral intermixing on these slopes above Fairfax since at least 80 plus years, because the last fire was 1945 in the Kent Basin, and that didn't, I believe they stopped it from coming down into Fairfax and Woodacre, which is where I'd be downslope from. So you've got encroachment by industrious native species like Pseudosugum menziesii, Douglas fir, and California bay laurel, Umbellularia californica, into this otherwise woodland that would have been dominated by oaks, both interior, live, hybrids, black oaks, and madrones mainly, and then integrating into swaths of chaparral with Manzanita, Ceanothus, silk tassel, toyon, chamise, and it goes on. Right, here's evidence, even though there's still leaves on these Arctostaphylos glandulosa that are very old. You can see how the Doug fir right here that's moving in, shading them out. Look at all the death and decadence down here. And then this umbellularia right here is shading them out for most of their sun. Here's a great example though of showing what they resprout from. A burl, which 1/3 of the manzanitas have evolved to use as a means to resprout or regenerate after fires. Didn't find the Ceanothus velutinus again. I mean, meaning I've tried many times again, but all good. Most fun thing in the world to be lost in the woods, but not really lost. Quick look at a Quercus agrifolia, a coast live oak, compared to the interior live oak we were looking at, Quercus wislenzenii. This always has the revolute, always curled over margins I was talking about, and always teeth. Bonus mushrooms. Turkey tails is the common name. I don't know my fungi at all, but Trametes maybe is the genus, and that's just from help on iNaturalist. Breaking down this Quercus log, this Quercus branch. Glowing lovely mushrooms in the understory with the light on them. Fun. I really want to learn about mushrooms. I've been learning about plants for so long. There's so much interconnection, so much interdependence, so much glory, unsung glory, I believe, from the fungi kingdom. I think we all know about a little glory. Hopefully we've been there. But from iNaturalist, I don't know. I want to know what they do, or their ecological importance and whatnot. These are wax caps, maybe? Hygrocybe? I don't know. Looking pretty just beautiful. The light. Popping up in between the iris leaves, the Iris douglassiana leaves, the Stachys leaves, the hedge nettle, the cardamine leaves getting going. Talk about name changes, keeping up with the cardamine. From dentaria to that. And it's on and on. Ooh, and what San Francisco was named after, Yerba Buena. Clinopodium douglasii and the mint family. Little bilaterally symmetric flowers when they bloom. White ones in the spring. You can make a tea out of it. I wouldn't eat that guy though. I wouldn't eat any mushroom unless I was with a true expert. Oh well, except, you know. Look at all of them though. It's a whole party. The whole fruiting body of the mycelium below party.